What is going on, my dudes? Tystra here, back again with another Genshin Impact video. And if you guys like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And as always, comment about what you thought about this video. Now, today, we are going to be talking about the Archon quest for 2.4. Now, if you guys haven't done it yet, please, I urge you to, because this was a doozy of a quest, and I'm probably going to rewatch like the cutscenes on YouTube because they were just phenomenal. MiHoYo, please give us an anime. I wish that they would just do it already, but I digress. Let's hop right into it. But before I do, I want to apologize to everybody. I realized that my mic was on the opposite side, which is why I was having a lot of mic issues before, and people were like, "Oh, your mic's cutting in and out," or "Your mic makes you sound robotic." It's actually because physically it was on the opposite direction. So for all of you that were tuning into my videos and going, "Why the heck does this guy not know how to, operate his mic?" Now you know. I messed up. My apologies. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I do have a script on the side, so please bear with me. I am making sure to read off of my script of notes because I have a very forgetful mindset. So there might be some things that I missed out on. So first off, when you start the quest, you are listening to Ningguang announce a contest of sorts to get 3 items so that she can basically rebuild the Jade Chamber. Now, as you guys know, we basically lost the Jade Chamber in the last battle for Liyue, and it was pretty cool to be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna help make a new Jade Chamber, because before the Jade Chamber was already built for us. So, or not for us, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. So the prize is to be able to ask Ningguang one question. Now, this may seem very, I would say, not condescending, but egotistical. But Ningguang is very intelligent and understands a lot of people's wildest desires, or even just desires in general. She also has a lot of answers because of her outreach in Liyue. Honestly, I feel as though like she's kind of a god in human form, almost, because of her intuition and her ability to do that. Now, granted, I haven't done the Hangout events yet, which the Hangout event for Yujin is coming out tomorrow, or coming out on video tomorrow, where I review that, so stay tuned. Shenhe is in the background and gets into an altercation with Shady Twosome. I call them Shady Twosome because I don't care for their names. Where they try and take money from her. Before she could do anything, the Millilith show up with the Traveler and arrest the 2 people. Now, this was kind of a little weird because you first see Shenhe's, kind of instinct to kill, because she was ready to go. She's like, I was told not to kill in Liyue, but I'm going to. And then, of course, we kind of stop her, and that's it. After introductions are made, the Traveler, Shenhe, and Paimon head to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get Chingson, Blaze Lilies, and Violet Grass for Shenhe to eat. Now, Shenhe this whole time was eating 1, maybe 2 bites of food from each restaurant she would go to, and then she'd leave, because she wanted the same stuff that she gets from the mountains. Basically, at this time, we're assuming that she's Adeptus. For those of you like me who knew kind of beforehand, we know the truth, but let's continue. By the way, guys, this is heavy spoilers. I'm going through the entire quest, and I'm going to be giving it a rating at the end. So, once they arrive and Shenhe eats the assorted medicinal herbs, Shenhe joins Traveler and Paimon in the contest. She suggests to dispatch all the other contestants. She has a very homicidal instinct. She doesn't think with compassion. She thinks more of what's the best course of action to get the best result, and that is to legitimately dispatch all other contestants. And it's crazy. I like her character, to be honest. I like the little homicidal end that she has. So, Baiju, who, please, for the love of God, give us Baiju. MiHoYo, I need Baiju at this point, enters the scene and says that Feiyun Commerce Guild might have some sweet vermilionite, which is one of the things that we need to get. There's sweet vermilionite, water cores, and Adepti Sigil. So, Traveler, Shinho, and Paimon go to the guild and see Xingqiu. Xingqiu says that a lot of people want the sweet vermilionite that the guild has, but it's being auctioned prices around 500 million more. This is huge because everyone's wanting to get that sweet vermilionite. But, you know, because everybody wants it, it's inflated. So, Xingqiu suggests that the traveler go to the Sea Gazer domain. Xingqiu, during this conversation, takes notice of Shinhe and says she resembles a close friend of his. Now, he doesn't say it to her, per se, but what happens is that he's talking to himself and saying, she reminds me of someone I know. And that person that we kind of already know about is Jongyun, because they're related. And we find that out in Shinho's trailer. So, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, you need to go see it. So, Traveler, Shinhe, and Paimon search the entrance of the Sea Gazer's realm, Shinhe using Adepti arts to reveal the Sealy to find the location. Now, this is again another moment where even Paimon and Traveler are like, she's gotta be some sort of Adepti. And they can't really, like, they don't know yet, or at least the Traveler kind of suspects it, but Paimon is completely under the impression that Shinhe is an Adepti. So, after solving an easy puzzle, killing some monsters, falling down, killing enemies, falling down, navigating a booby-trapped cave, and of course, fighting more enemies, we finally stumble upon the sweet vermilionite. It's like this big, huge rock. It's the exact same rock that we see as the floating platforms of the in Liyue, basically. I don't know how else to explain it. So, Shinhe grabs the large vermilionite and takes it to the building site. We meet back up with her there. When we get there, she has already delivered the vermilionite to Baiwen, which is Ningguang's secretary, and gives the Traveler and Paimon top marks for the find, because Baiwen is actually kind of judging the contest for Lady Ningguang. So, Shinhe gets praised for being an Adeptus, but she tries to tell us that she isn't, but backs down. She has a moment where she's like, she wants to tell us, but something is telling her, just let it go. Everyone then heads to the hotels Ningguang built for all the contestants, and then basically what happens is that the Traveler and Paimon give the first room to Shinhe so that she could rest. Shinhe at first is kind of adamant to kind of put, like, no, I'm going to go to the forest and meditate. But Paimon and Traveler insist, like, you need actual rest, working hard, go. At this time, Cloud Retainer is spotted by the Traveler and Paimon after Shinhe goes into her hotel, and they see that Cloud Retainer is kind of looking over where Shinhe is at. So they go and talk to Cloud Retainer, and the Traveler and Paimon find out that Shinhe is not an Adeptus, but she is human. Surprise, surprise. We find out that Shinhe, when she was 6 years old, was found by Cloud Retainer in a cave, holding a knife against what Cloud Retainer calls God's remains monster. And we find out a little bit more about this later. But she was in this fight for days. Like, from what I saw, it was 6 days she was fighting this monster, which is insane for a 6-year-old kid. It's either 6 or 7 days. I can't remember. We find out that she has a strong willpower, but her bloodlust and homicidal instinct is just as strong. After Cloud Retainer disposes of the monster, Cloud Retainer adopted Shinhe and became her master. Even while training with the Adepti, Mooncarver stated during Shinhe's divination and said that she will be consumed with malevolent energy, calamity. The red rope she bears are to basically keep those homicidal instincts at bay. It's basically kind of like suppressing it. But what it also does is it suppresses her emotions as well, or she has lack thereof. She does express a little bit of emotion, but it's very minimal. We meet back with Shinhe after resting for the night, and she knows that the Traveler and Paimon talked to Cloud Retainer that night. Basically, now they are friendsies. They're best friends now. Because Traveler and Paimon have that way with, as we know, they have a giant harem. We head back to the building site and see that the Jade Chamber is actually floating now, but tied down by iron like ropes and stuff like that. So it could fly, but it's not ready yet. Baiwen comes in and Beidou, or she comes in with Beidou. Sorry, that was a typo on me. Baiwan comes in with Beto, and we also get to see Yunjin in a story for the first time. So this is our first encounter with Yunjin. Beto and Yunjin are a part of the contest as well. Yunjin suggests that both teams work together so that they can all get their questions answered. And with that, Beto tells us she has leads on where the Wonder Cores are. It was kind of like the way that I would explain the scene is that it was more so like we should team up, and then everyone assumed, okay, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So it made sense for that plot. So already like I'm digging it because of the fact that we get Beto again, which Beto has played a very prominent part in the Travelers stories, and we also get to see Yunjin. So after fighting Master Zhang, we help him. Sorry, he tells us about what ore is needed for the Jade Chamber. He says that the 2 ores needed can be found on Mount Tianheng, and there is a trick to finding the ore with visions. It's basically the second part of the ore. I can't remember the names of the ore, to be honest, because I wasn't really paying attention to the names. I just wanted to get this part done. Trust me, guys, this was like 1 a.m. in the morning, and I was like, bro, I need to finish this. I need to write the script out so I can record the video. Arriving at the mountain, Yunjin talks about the story of the Damsel of Devastation. The story is basically Shinhe's story, but altered a bit from Shinhe's origin. Basically, it makes her out to be this hero that sacrificed herself to fight this god and win, and then she basically saved the village. That's not what happened. So, after doing a fetch quest for the first one, we stumble upon the village where Shinhe meets up with her uncle. Shinhe stays back with the traveler, while Paimon and Yunjin explore the abandoned village. We find a notebook that tells us the story of how Shinhe's mom was dying and the dad summoned a god. God stated that it was probably Shinhe that was causing the mother's death, which was not. Shinhe's father left her in a cave so that Shinhe could bear the curse of calamity. Yunjin realizes that Shinhe was the divine damsel of devastation, but realized the story was wrong. After finding the scroll telling us to find where to find the last ore, we head back to hear Shinhe's uncle talking about what had happened. So that was like a big thing for Yunjin because Yunjin's father made the divine damsel of calamity or of devastation. The divine damsel of devastation opera. So it was very weird for her to be like, oh, or it wasn't weird like for us, but it was weird for her to have to go, huh? Maybe my dad was wrong. So that's it. We head to the lake after a conversation between Yunjin and Shinhe about changes to the opera because Yunjin is very, very pushy about changing the opera now, and she wants to get Shinhe's perspective. Shinhe is just kind of like, don't worry about it. It's still a great story. It's just not my story. So, after waiting until like 17:30 in the evening in game, which was a pain in the butt because I had to complete part of another quest to get Zhao away, which I don't understand why I needed Zhao in the first place because Zhao didn't pop up. But after getting that and getting the last ore, we head back to Master Zhang. After giving the ores to Zhang and reuniting with Beto, Shinhe says that she could also make the Adepti Sigil. So that makes it easy. We already have all 3 spots made. So once it's all made, we take all of it and head up to Baiwen. And after giving Baiwen the material, she announces us as the winners because it's all top quality stuff. We then head up to the Jade Chamber to meet with Ningguang. Ningguang inserts the Wonder Cores and Adepti Sigils into the chamber, and it is now complete. And as you kind of progress, you see it, Jade Chamber building up and up and up. So it went from nothing to like literally a Jade Chamber, and watch that evolution happen. She first speaks to Yunjin about the venue for her opera. Ningguang lets Yunjin hold the opera at the Jade Chamber herself. That is super awesome of Ningguang to do for Yunjin because Yunjin is such a popular opera singer around Liyue. Ningguang directs her attention to the Traveler next, but Traveler doesn't even get to say a word without Ningguang stating what she already knows. She already knows that the Traveler wants to know about where her brother or sister's whereabouts are, to which she doesn't know. So that negates, the Traveler's question. Paimon tries to ask her a question, but before she can even ask, Ningguang already knows that she's going to ask of how to run a business. And this is really crucial to see how Ningguang is as a character and how intelligent and how she's able to like kind of understand what people want just by looking at their face. And it's really funny because it's like you don't get to see it a lot, but when you do, you're just like, holy crap. Honestly, Ningguang could have been a 5-star character in that sense of how her personality is. So, but basically, she tells, Paimon and Traveler that if they ever need anything, any money or anything like that, that she's more than willing to help out. She becomes their sugar mama. So, but they gotta work for it a little bit. Paimon and Shinha, or Paimon asks Shinha to ask a question, and at first she's a little hesitant, but then Shinha goes, "Am I able to fit into Liyue Harbor?" And Ningguang answers yes, but it's up to Shinha if she's willing to find a reason to stay. This is when Beidou comes back, and after a little back and forth with the Travelers, and Shinha and Paimon, Beidou talks to Ningguang about an ambush of sorts. And that's when I was kind of puzzled, but then I remember looking at the trailer that I was like, oh. And then it's basically unexplained for now within the game. We cut to a scene to the next day, Ningguang giving a speech about Liyue in the Jade Chamber, and I honestly have to say, MiHoYo needs to make an anime like right now. These scenes are so amazingly well put together that it makes me beg for an anime. So when the Jade Chamber ascends, Beisht comes out of the water, big water dragon basically, and this is the part that wasn't explained in the previous scene. The Jade Chamber was built to bring out Beisht so that she could be destroyed. Liyue is coming together and fighting against her, including my girl, not Ningguang, Ganyu. There's catching. We see Beidou in the ship. We see the Millilith. Like, everybody is fighting against Beisht to, like, push Beisht back. And the Traveler kind of goes, all right, it's my turn, and is about to go and stab Beisht, but Beisht hits her and him. Sorry, I know that some people Traveler. But they hit the Traveler with this beam, and the Traveler hits the rocks, almost like Dragon Ball Z style, falls down to the ground. Shinha goes up and is holding the Traveler in her arms after she caught her in midair. And it gives Shinha that sense of like, I need to protect them. And she now goes to fight the god, and what she does at first is use her Adepti arts to freeze the wave that was coming for them, this giant tidal wave, and it was like, holy crap, that's ridiculous, man. But then basically the battle resumes after the wave is frozen, with everybody going against Beisht. Beisht retreats into the water, but the Traveler and Shinha follow afterwards. When we go into the battle, it's a really easy battle, to be honest. That was the one thing I was kind of upset about, is that the battle was super, super easy. I don't think anybody's going to have a hard time with it. So if you do it and you have a hard time with it, take a step back and rethink your strategy, because it's really, really simple and very easy. But it wasn't about the battle, it was about the story. So after defeating Beisht, we head back to the surface and we talk to Shinha, who's exhausted from the battle. Ningguang walks over and is told by Shinha that the monster won't be back anytime soon. Ningguang thanks them by saying whenever they return to the chamber, they will be treated generously and kind. Sorry. I'm kind of like, my throat's getting a little dry. We also find out that Beisht has retreated past Gunyun Stone Forest, so the sea around Liyue Harbor is back to normal. So apparently there's a lot of stuff going on with the sea itself. Cloud Retainer is also there, having watched what happened. As a mother of sorts would, Cloud Retainer praises Shinha with the help that she gave, saying that if it weren't for Shinha, the battle wouldn't have been as smooth as it was, to which even Ningguang agrees. But Ningguang also says that regardless of if Shinha was here, we were going to win. If I would have had to sacrifice another Jade Chamber, I absolutely would have. And basically, Cloud Retainer kind of goes, you did great, like in her own words. She tells the Traveler to take good care of Shinha, and then wants to talk about the memories of Shinha as a kid, like a mother would. She basically is told no by Shinha, and Cloud Retainer pouts like a mom. Now, this is the part that everybody's been talking about, and I have to. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. We head back to the Jade Chamber, and we are greeted after some dialogue to a performance by Yunjin herself. And my God, this performance, like, people were kind of like trolling a little bit and like, I wouldn't say making fun of, but also like laughing at the whole, that one. And it's like, yeah, it was funny. But when you listen to this whole performance, oh my God, was it beautiful? It was absolutely beautiful. The scenery worked perfect. Got to see a really, really good cutscene as well with Yunjin dancing. And my God, her eyes are freaking gorgeous. That was the thing that I took away. I was like, oh my gosh. But again, MiHoYo, make an anime for Genshin Impact. I think you have more than enough source material right now to do it. So, I cannot recommend enough going back to it. So, after the performance, Yunjin comes to the table that the Traveler, Paimon, and Shinha are sitting at, and Shinha thanks her for the performance, which Yunjin, in kind, thanks Shinha, who was the person behind the tale. So, it was the whole tale of Shinha remastered to all the current events. One of the patrons afterwards comes up a little drunkenly and starts trying to talk to Shinha and all of them, and you could see that the homicidal tendencies of Shinha are not done yet. But of course, it's a little fun way to end it. So, when it comes to this Archon quest, I really liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but the performance that Yujin performed was fantastic. Shinha is a fantastic character as well. It's just mainly the homicidal tendencies part where you would see her kind of like transition like into like, I'm going to kill you, like type of stuff. You could see that Shinha is kind of battling with it, but at the same time, she knows she's like, there's no other way. I'm going to kill you. So I liked all the character development in this as well. The amount of characters that we got to see with Beidou, Ganyu, Ketching, Ningguang, and of course the two new characters in Shinha and Yunjin is fantastic. We even got to see Xingqiu a little bit too. So I have to give this one top marks. I would definitely say if I had to rate it out of 10, it would definitely be a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to say 10 out of 10 because I still think that the Ito story was better. But as an Archon quest goes, it's definitely one of the best ones out there. But let me know in the comments below. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that that this one was better than the Ito quest? Do you think that this Archon quest was absolutely like the best one ever, or did you hate it? What do you think of Yunjin singing? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think. As always, guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We'll be back tomorrow with another video and also some streams tomorrow. Just saying, guys, on twitch.tv/Taichi. So if you're wanting to be a part of all that, please, please, please pay attention tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Love you all to death, and we will see you in the next video.